watching NBC4, the Tri-State News Channel. And now, Sue Simmons, Dean Shepard, Al Roker, and Len Berman. This is News Channel 4, live at 5.
It's a mistrial for Alex Kelly, the former high school wrestler charged with rape. Good evening. The jury fails to reach a verdict.
The judge declared the mistrial when jurors said they were hopelessly deadlocked. Kelly fled the country after he was accused of rape 10 years ago. Tonight, prosecutors say they're ready to retry him. Right now, News Channel 4's Michael Hill is in Stamford with more for us. Michael?
So the jury of 3 men and 3 women deliberated for 5 days and again today said they could not reach the required unanimous decision on either charge against Alex Kelly, the former globe-trotting fugitive. Kelly never took the stand here in Stamford in his own defense, but the alleged victim gave an emotional account of a vicious attack in 1986. The defense appeared to pick what of small holes in her testimony that seemed to blossom and then blossomed into reasonable doubt for at least 2 jurors.
This was a case in which the prosecution was unable to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. None of us were there. They took their best shot and they lost.
And I think it is a great insult, not only to this victim, but to all victims of sexual assault, to say that this was an enjoyable experience. I know firsthand what she has suffered, not only during this past trial, but during the past 10 years.
It's our view that it's a shameful outcome. The defense in this case pandered to every stereotype in rape cases that we've heard about over the years.
What was the vote, ma'am? Can you tell us what was the hang-up back there? Sheriff's deputies shielded jurors who failed to convict or acquit Alex Kelly of kidnapping and raping a 16-year-old neighbor 10 years ago. On the eve of his 1987 trial for 2 rape charges, Kelly ran to Europe for 8 years and finally came home to face the now 26-year-old married woman. The jury was split 4 to convict and 2 to acquit. Before the trial started, the defense denied plea bargain talks were underway. But now the woman's attorney says the defense offered the woman money to make the charges go away.
I told him it was improper. I told him that my client was not doing this for money. I told him that his client was accused of rape and should face the charges in a criminal courthouse, and that the Kelly family was not going to buy off the prosecution.
Now, the state said it was ready for trial as early as January. That's something that's going to be worked out. The state also said our victim is ready to take the stand. Again, the woman seemed to leave the court after the verdict. She didn't have a tear in her eyes. She didn't seem emotional. Just seemed to walk out with her husband. And as the state said, it seems she is certainly ready to testify again against Alex Kelly. Reporting live from Stamford, Michael Hill, News Channel 4.
All right, Michael, thank you.
Another trial, and this time the verdict is guilty in the Michigan murder trial of a man who admitted he killed a gay acquaintance over a TV talk show revelation.
Verdict as to the charge of first-degree premeditated murder is guilty of the lesser offense of second-degree murder.
The defendant, Jonathan Schmitz, showed no emotion as the verdict was read this morning. He admitted to killing Scott Amador after the victim appeared on the Jenny Jones talk show and revealed himself as a secret admirer of Schmitz. Schmitz had said the incident left him humiliated. He faces a maximum of life in prison.
Disaster strikes in India, this one man-made. 2 airliners collided in the skies west of New Delhi. 351 people are dead, making it the 3rd worst air crash ever. More now from News Channel 4's Steve Handelsman.
Wreckage from the mid-air collision was scattered over fields in a rural area of India. More than 270 bodies have been found so far. The Saudi Boeing 747-100 jumbo jetliner that looked like this newer model carried 312 passengers and crew and dwarfed the smaller Kazakh jet that carried just 39. That smaller plane was inbound from Kazakhstan. The 747 was taking off for Saudi Arabia when they collided southwest of New Delhi, near a U.S. Air Force transport whose pilot called in a report.
We saw 2 fireballs come from down beneath and towards us, and diverging away from each other and descending down to the ground.
Back at the airport, people were stunned. So many passengers killed. Only the runway collision of 2 747s in the Canary Islands in 1977 and the crash of a crowded 747 in 1985 in Japan took more lives. From India, one journalist told me his air traffic control system is safe.
ATC handles about 1,000 aircraft movements each day.
They claim that they have the equipment and the manpower to handle that many planes.
Exactly.
But Indian officials said controllers ordered the Saudi and Kazakh jetliners to pass just 1,000 feet apart, 3 miles high in the dark. And a U.S. aviation expert says that's risky.
That 1,000-foot separation should have been enough, but if someone broke through an altitude, then you've got a collision on your hands.
No question the planes collided, but was it the fault of pilots, controllers, or equipment? U.S. experts from the Government Safety Board and from Boeing might go to Bombay to help with this investigation. I'm Steve Handelsman, News Channel 4, Washington.
Because the wreckage fell on farm fields after dark, no one on the ground is believed to have been killed.
A Brooklyn neighborhood is horrified by a gruesome crime this evening, a deadly stabbing. A man returned to his Bushwick home this afternoon and found the body of his mother, Carmen Almonte. She had been stabbed to death. The man's 5-year-old son, Ivan, was also stabbed. He was rushed to a hospital. Police are trying to figure out a motive. They don't know if it was a push-in robbery. Police are investigating a possible hit-run death at 14th Street and Union Square East. Shortly before noon, the body of a woman in her 60s was found in the middle of the intersection. Investigators haven't identified the victim. They say she may have been run over by a car or truck, but the investigation is continuing.
Police say a man was murdered right on his doorstep in Queens. They're looking for the gunman tonight, a man dressed as a postal worker who fled in a red, white, and blue truck. Right now, News Channel 4's Elise Hart is in Woodhaven with the latest. Elise?
Yes, he was dressed as a postal worker and carried a gun, and police say he used the gun inside that home to kill Edwin Sanchez Jr. This is a picture of Edwin Sanchez Jr. and his 4-year-old daughter, Amanda. Police say this 26-year-old father of 2 was shot and killed here at his Woodhaven home by someone dressed in a postal uniform. But officials do not know yet whether the suspect was in fact a postal employee.
He was dressed as a postal worker, and that's about all we do know at this point.
We were told he drove away in a red, white, and blue truck.
We've heard that as well, but that too is under investigation as to whether that truck was a postal truck.
Brown says the suspect told Sanchez he needed to sign a slip for a priority mail package. Sanchez allegedly became suspicious and threatened to call police. At that point, witnesses say the suspect pulled out a gun and shot Sanchez in this doorway. Outside the home, friends tried to comfort grieving relatives.
He don't harm nobody. He don't bother nobody. He's real nice to everybody. He helps everybody out.
Police say at the time of the shooting, Sanchez's 2 daughters were inside the house, along with the children's mother, who may have been a witness.
There were 2 youngsters in the house, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, together with their mother. Fortunately, they're all right. They were not in any respect injured.
Me and my mother moved over here because we said it was going to be a better neighborhood. We used to live in Jamaica, Queens. You came over here, it's worse.
Police are still searching for a suspect, motive, and weapon. Now, we did contact the post office, and they said that the police have been in touch with them, but they also point out it is very easy to obtain a postal uniform. We are live in Woodhaven, Queens. I'm Elise Hart. Now back to you in the studio, Sue.
Elise, thank you. It is time now for our first look at breaking news and the evening commute live from Chopper 4. The old traffic patterns are back on the Queensboro Bridge. Let's go up to Tom Frick and see what's happening. Tom, how does it look?
That's correct, Sue. You're taking a look at the 59th Street Bridge right now. We're on the Manhattan side. Just want to take you on in, down onto the roadway, and take a look. Traffic is actually flowing much better this evening. That on the right-hand side of your screen, that is Queens-bound traffic. Left-hand side, where you don't see anyone right now, that is Manhattan-bound traffic. Traffic is moving incredibly well. Just pan down a little bit further so you can see underneath the roadway there. You can see the lower level of the span in between the Y-shaped formation there of the upper level. You can see cars are a little bit slow coming in, all those lights coming directly at us, but they're just off to the right-hand side of your screen. Those are the cars heading Queens-bound. As you can see, they are moving incredibly well, so the old pattern seems to be working. Let's toss it on down to Andrew Glassman, who's down at 62nd Street and 2nd Avenue.
Well, good evening, Tom. Yeah, there's still some confusion about which way the traffic is supposed to move, and still some heavy traffic down here on 2nd Avenue on the Upper East Side. As you can see, it's slow going from block to block, and drivers are telling us that the traffic is heavy on 2nd from the 90s all the way down to the 60s. And part of the problem is that not everyone is clear on which way the traffic is moving today. I talked to some drivers who were still under the impression that the new or old, whichever way you want to look at it, traffic system was still in effect. They didn't know it switched today. There are traffic officers on virtually every corner directing the traffic off of the side streets like East 62nd, and I just peered up there, and it looks like they're doing a very good job of easing the crosstown traffic. That is welcome news to all the residents who complained about that constant honking over the past 4 weeks. There's one more possible snafu to this evening's commute, and that is at 6 o'clock there's a protest around the bridge. One of the lanes of for bikers and walkers was converted into a lane of traffic to give the bridge access to 1,000 more cars per hour. At 6 o'clock tonight, we're told that some of the cyclists are going to hold a protest at the base of the bridge. It could be one more complication in this already complicated situation. Andrew Glassman, News Channel 4, reporting live tonight from 62nd and 2nd.
All right, Andrew, thank you.
Well, Forrest Gump is on to something. Coming up on Live at 5, the health benefits of shrimp.
But first, what did a group of Brooklyn neighbors plan to do with a large supply of weapons and bomb-making material?
It's not over yet in Cleveland. Another night of snowfall pushes shovelers to the limit.
Shop Before knows no limits when it comes to breaking news and traffic snarls. We'll have more from them. And Al has a chilly forecast.
That's right. I like chilled shrimp. I like a nice, good, cold shrimp cocktail. Would you like a nice Doppler 4000 cocktail? We'll have one for you. We'll also show you Next Rad 4 too. It's really good too. I like that too. Yes, sir. I like it fried, barbecued. It's a real good thing.
A nice young man came to the front door the other night just as we were sitting down to dinner. And, well, in our house, that's family time. And so I politely made it clear to him that maybe he should come back in the morning or something.
You take care of the distractions, we'll cook. Your choice of entree, 3 sides, cornbread, and a whole apple pie. The $14.99 Market Feast, only at Boston Market.
Don't mess with dinner.
And let Boston Market prepare your Thanksgiving dinner, too. Stop by today to place your order.
Coming up at 6, Brooklyn bombshell. Police find a deadly arsenal and children in danger at a Crown Heights home. Then, Long Island Railroad safety under fire.
How safe are Long Island Railroad crossings? I'm M.G. Perez with some new answers.
Coming up at 6.
Our family values platform, Mercury Villager and Mercury Mountaineer. Premium family transportation on a balanced budget. Villager, the minivan that drives like a car, equipped like a luxury car for only $259 a month. And the new Mountaineer, the V8-powered luxury sport utility as capable as it is affordable. The minivans and sport utilities that every family values are at your tri-state Lincoln Mercury dealers.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury.
Recently, Larry Williams found an extra $600 a month. No, he didn't win the lottery. He just called 1-800-CHAMPION and asked about our Pay Down Your Debt program. Randy showed him how Pay Down Your Debt could replace his high-interest credit card bills and other bills with a payment $600 a month less than he was currently paying. They say you're more likely to be struck by lightning than to win the lottery. Pay Down Your Debt seems much easier. Does your bank have as many ways to help you? When your bank says no, Champion says yes.
This just into Live at 5, problem underground. Subway service is being disrupted at this hour by a trash fire downtown. The trains affected are on the A line as in Apple and the C line as in Charlie. That fire in the area of Broadway and Nassau. There are no reports of any injuries. The Transit Authority is hoping to have service back to normal within a half an hour.
An investigation into complaints of child abuse led police to an incredible stash of weapons in Brooklyn. They found much of the arsenal hidden in a secret compartment. Is there a link to terror? News Channel 4's Rick Leventhal has the story.
These are some of the more than 4 dozen weapons discovered inside a Crown Heights brownstone, many of them hidden behind a false wall in a second-story apartment closet. Police say this musical instrument case actually holds a Thompson semi-automatic submachine gun.
There's military-type assault rifles. There's handguns that are revolvers, semi-automatics.
as they say, thousands of rounds of ammunition.
Police were called to 1107 Carroll Street Monday night by social workers who'd gone there to investigate a child abuse complaint. The people inside wouldn't open the door until NYPD's Emergency Services Unit arrived. Along with the weapons, police found black powder, suspected to be explosive, and arrested all 32 adults there. 3 kids were discovered next door and taken to a hospital. Their mother, one of those arrested, was also charged with neglect and assault. One of the officers who went in told me off camera that he was surprised at the firepower they found. In his words, if the people in there had set up, this would have been bad. He says the police were outgunned and that this had the potential to be another Waco. Neighbors say the group lived in several apartments in the 3 adjoining row houses linked by underground tunnels and mazes.
Are you surprised they found so many weapons in that? Why not?
Because I knew they doing something at 3 o'clock at night time. They look in the basement and bang, 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 bang. At 3 o'clock in the morning, they must be doing something.
What they plan to do with the weapons and ammo is unclear, but it may be no coincidence that federal agents stormed the same building 12 years ago, seizing another small arsenal of weapons, arresting some of the residents believed to be part of an underground terrorist group. Now police are seeing if this might be history repeating itself. In Crown Heights, Rick Leventhal, News Channel 4.
On News Channel 4 at 6, John Miller will take us back to 1984 to see if there are any connections between the 2 investigations.
It was back to court today for O.J. Simpson, but a different courtroom for the trial and the custody fight over his children. The cameras and media were waiting for O.J. as he arrived this morning. He's trying to regain custody of his 2 young children who've been living with his ex-wife's parents since Simpson was arrested just days after the murders. At Simpson's civil trial, meanwhile, there was more testimony from forensic pathologist Dr. Werner Spitz. He offered testimony on how the killer could have sustained wounds on his hands during the struggle.
Well, Cleveland residents like to boast that their city is the best location in the nation. Well, that was before 3 consecutive days of record lake effect snowfall. Downtown Cleveland is digging out from 2.5 feet of snow since Saturday. It's nearly a complete whiteout, with more snow falling today at the rate of 2 inches an hour in some areas. Parts of northern Ohio are paralyzed by more than 4 feet of the white stuff. 20,000 homes are still without power. Closer to home, we got the first flakes in our area, but it's really nothing compared to Cleveland. Chopper 4 captured these pictures this morning in Sparta, New Jersey. The dusting of snow, just a reminder that winter will soon be here. Right now, Al's here to tell us if we're going to be doing any shoveling soon.
Well, we may actually see a little area-wide dusting like that come Thursday, but nothing quite like Cleveland, thankfully. Let's take a look, show you what's going on outside right now. A beautiful skyline shot, the World Trade Center. World Trade Center there by Chopper 4, thanks to the crew there. As we look at our statistics, show you we've got 38 degrees. Partly cloudy skies, rest of our readings, northwesterly winds at 8, relative humidity 48%, and the barometer is on the rise. High for the day 43, the low a chilly 32, and we've had no precipitation. Temperatures about 13 degrees cooler than they should be for this time of year. Take a look, tri-state temperatures 37 Dover, Forked River, Spark Hill, 39 Islip, same in Norotan, Connecticut. Astoria checks in with 40, Perth, Amboy at 39. Next for Ad 4. You can see, again, trailing snow. This is a lot of lake effect snow. This activity on top of us, most of it not really reaching the ground. A few flakes, though, north and west. Storm track, as we put into motion with the coloration, you can see the areas of white. That's where it is snowing, and quite a bit of snow. Chardon, Ohio, and northeastern Ohio, 32 inches of snow, and as of this morning, they picked up another 10 inches since then. As you can see, tomorrow morning, trough of low pressure trying to drop down, but high pressure will be the dominant factor for our weather tonight. So another chilly one again tonight, 20s and low 30s. Tomorrow morning, the high pressure dominates, and that will give us a nice sunny start to the day, but an awfully cold one with temperatures again in the upper 20s and low 30s. Tomorrow during the day, we'll be struggling to break 40 degrees, but again, a decent amount of sunshine. However, what we are watching, this warm front with a lot of moisture working its way out of the Ohio Valley. That's going to spread clouds in here tomorrow night. And by Thursday, we could be looking at a little light snow. Not any major amounts, but could be a little snow nonetheless. Forecast tonight, low 20s north and west, mid 20s along the coast, upper 20s to low 30s here in town. Tomorrow morning, decent amount of sunshine, westerly winds, but still chilly, upper 20s to the mid-30s, so it will feel like it's in the mid to lower 20s everywhere around the tri-state. Sunshine tomorrow, temperatures upper 30s to the low 40s. Again, another chilly day for us. And your travel weather looks like this. We're expecting 36 degrees up in Boston, partly sunny skies, 52 in Atlanta, 74 Dallas, Los Angeles 76, and Seattle 52 and partly cloudy. It is time now for an artistic tidbit. The great French sculptor Auguste Rodin was born on this date in 1840. His best-known work is probably The Thinker, inspired by the Inferno in Dante's Divine Comedy. For the tidbit, we'd like to know, who is the thinker supposed to be? According to our Encyclopedia of Art, it's a combination of two men, one from the Bible, the other from Greek mythology. The answer and the 5-day forecast later on Live at 5.
Al, we'll think upon it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have, well, wanted to tell Al about this. You mentioned yesterday the coupons.
Yes.
When I heard the story, I thought of you immediately about your coupons.
Yes.
You might want to check some of your old magazines, littering the basement, the garage, and so forth. Fred Simpson of Doctors Inlet, Florida, is thumbing through a 1935 issue of Fortune magazine. He spotted a coupon for a mail-order breakfast of sausage and pancakes for $1, including shipping. There was no expiration date on the coupon, so he mailed it in. Jones Dairy Farm in Wisconsin, the recipient. 4 days later, a delivery truck pulled up, carrying a cooler packed with a pound of pork sausage, a box of pancake flour, and a jar of maple syrup. Retail value $29.95.
Now, there you go. You're going to scoff at those coupons.
You know,
Think about that.
We were not scoffing at the coupons. We were scoffing at the man making megabucks, standing on line, saving money at the grocery.
He's thinking about it.
We'll get back to you. All right, thank you, Al. We have much more news ahead, including found money for insurance customers in New Jersey.
And later we'll meet some patients who have survived medical emergencies ranging from cancer to heart attacks. What message do they have for others?
If you're simply mad about you, you'll enjoy our visit behind the scenes with Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt.
And Barbara Streisand talks about her return to the movies with a picture she directed herself. And now Len has a preview of sports.
Well, Dean, up next, they're about to hand out another award. Will the Yankees make it 3 in a row when it comes to the postseason honors? We're about to find out. And women's tennis hits the streets. Literally. Cabbies must have been thrilled. Coming up next on Live at 5.
Look! Santa! He's headed for Radio City, and so are we.
For the Radio City Christmas Spectacular, starring the world-famous Rockettes, the #1 show in America, with brand new scenes. Call 307-1000.
Did you know Wendy's 5-piece chicken nuggets are just 99 cents every day?
Yeah, I sure did.
No idea. Sorry.
99 cents for 5 nuggets.
I think it's a great deal. Thank you.
Moist.
Tender.
Very crispy and crunchy. This is white meat chicken. I like barbecue sauce.
Honey mustard's my favorite. That's my favorite sauce, too.
Are we allowed to double dip?
I can eat these anywhere.
You can eat them at work, on the run.
Ball game, dinner.
Snack or a meal, they're great anytime.
5 crispy chicken nuggets for 99 cents every day.
Never seen a chicken deal that good.
Hey, nice nuggets.
It's quite possibly the best deal in chicken.
We know this is probably the last thing you want to think about right now. So don't. Think about this. Jeep Grand Cherokee for 0 down and only $349 a month. Or Jeep Cherokee with special values. Both have Jeep's legendary 4-wheel drive system to get you through the deepest snow. So head over to your local Jeep and Eagle dealer today to take advantage of these deals. Then you won't even have to think about this again.
See your tri-state Jeep and Eagle dealer.
No matter where we live, when it comes to something as important as healthcare, we all want the best. That's why Aetna and U.S. Healthcare have joined forces to create a partnership that will set a new standard of quality and care in the healthcare industry. Aetna and U.S. Healthcare, raising the quality of healthcare for your town, for your family, for you.
The road looks level, but your car suddenly strains like it's going uphill. Could be your transmission slipping. Is this problem a mountain or a molehill? Stay cool. The expert technicians at AMCO Centers have state-of-the-art diagnostic tools to straighten things out. And half the cars serviced by AMCO Centers don't need a new transmission. So if your car feels like it's going uphill, bring it to someone who's on the level. AMCO, AA, MCO.
In 1912, it left England bound for New York and history. This spring, it arrives. Titanic, the new musical.
And now let's take a look at traffic conditions during the Tuesday evening rush. We head out to our Skycam network and Shadow Traffic's Matt Ward.
Dean, we're going live and direct to Brooklyn for a look at the Gowanus Expressway in the area known as Industry City, and this really doesn't look that bad. A little bit heavier on the traffic coming towards our view. That's on the outbound Gowanus. Let's check on the BQE over by the area of the, oh, you know it, the famous Kosciuszko Bridge. It's there in the distance, and wow, the BQE both ways, very, very congested. 11th Avenue is one of the best approaches to the outbound Lincoln Tunnel on most nights, but not tonight. Look at all that traffic coming down 11th Avenue, making the turn onto 41st Street. It's at least a 20-minute wait leaving town on back both the Holland and Lincoln Tunnel. Dean and Sue, back to you.
All right, Matt, thank you. 250,000 New Jersey drivers are going to be getting an unexpected holiday bonus. New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Company, the state's fourth largest personal auto insurer, says it is company policy to reward customers when business is good. And business was very good in 1995, good enough that the company will pay out more than $37 million in special dividends next month. That works out to an average rebate check of $167 for each of its policyholders.
On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrials moved further into record territory. The Dow closed at 62.66, a 10-point gain, and trading was pretty heavy, 471 million shares traded.
Well, no top prize winner in last night's New Jersey Pick 6 drawing, so Thursday's jackpot will be $5 million. And one winner has stepped forward to claim half of Saturday's $45 million New York Lotto prize. She is Dr. Mary O'Connor, a Buffalo area dentist. Her husband works for UPS. Of course, any night you need to check the lottery numbers, stay right here on Channel 4 each and every night. We bring you all the winning lottery numbers at 11.
And Len Berman is there with a look at sports.
Well, Dean, at 6 o'clock, they're going to announce the Cy Young Award winner in the American League. It is the third major award, and since the Yankees have won or shared the first two, why not 3 in a row? Andy Pettitte, with his 21 wins, is one of the leading candidates, although a couple of his Yankee teammates, Mariano Rivera and John Wetland, could siphon off a couple of votes, and that could then tilt things in favor of Pat Henkin. He pitched for Toronto, had a terrific year as well. Pettitte lives in Houston, and when he got home last week and had his golf tournament, he looked ahead to possibly winning this award.
To win that, it would be an unbelievable achievement, especially so young. But, you know, if it happens, everybody's kind of getting my hopes up a little bit because everybody's saying I'm going to win it and stuff. But, you know, we'll just wait and see what happens. If it does, it'd be, especially to top it off with the World Series win and then the Cy Young. So it would just be a nice thing.
It could be terrific. They will announce it at 6. We will hear from Pettitte during our 6 o'clock sportscast. Tonight's schedule, the Knicks are hosting Philadelphia. The Devils host Washington. And when you think of street sports in New York, you think of roller hockey or stickball. You definitely don't think of tennis. But today they closed off 31st Street near the Garden to promote next week's Women's Tour Championships. Former tennis great Virginia Wade was on hand, as well as the 94 Wimbledon champion Conchita Martinez. The spectators enjoyed the noontime show. But what about the cab drivers? How did they react to the exhibition?
You tell them which way to go and you say it's closed off here and they won't believe you. Listen, I think the Chase Championships is such a special event. The Garden is so special, and so I think it's fun to have a little promotion and remind people it's going on, and it's that time of year again.
All right, tennis will be played indoors next week at the Garden. Back to you.
Surprised a few cabbies didn't try it anyway.
Well, they made some noise.
Thank you, Len. Up next on Live at 5, spoils from World War II in Swiss bank vaults.
Texaco officials hold a closed-door meeting with Jesse Jackson and others over alleged racism at the company's highest levels.
And ho, ho, ho. No, it's not Santa. It is the Green Giant. But as you can see, there is something of a Christmas connection when we come back.
NBC Tonight, it's Mad About You's big anniversary. And wow, Carol Burnett and Carol O'Connor, Jamie's parents.
This is a nightmare!
Then on Something So Right, is Jack's ex moving in? Oh! And get this, Frasier's back with an all-new episode. You wouldn't. I would. And finally, a first date for Caroline and Richard. NBC Tonight.
Dateline Tuesday. A brutal rape, a ransacked hotel room, a tragic crime. Local police called it a vicious attack until they found out this woman's no victim. Dateline Tuesday.
If you experience vaginal dryness, now there's new Vagisil Intimate Moisturizer. It's like bringing back your own natural moisture. Just a few clear drops replace your body's own natural moisture, relieve dryness, And it's smooth as liquid silk, never greasy. Developed with the woman gynecologist, Vagisil Intimate Moisturizer has natural aloe, and it's safe to use every day. It's like bringing back your own natural moisture with new Vagisil Intimate Moisturizer.
Your tri-state Lincoln Mercury dealers are moving mountains to bring you a new class of sport utility vehicle. Introducing Mercury Mountaineer, the first V8-powered luxury sport utility equipped to take you to the previously uncharted territory of affordability. Experience Mountaineer now at your tri-state Lincoln Mercury dealers and beat the winter rush.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury now.
Coming up on News Channel 4 at 6.
We've told you about a catch of weapons seized and dozens of arrests in Brooklyn. Tonight at 6, John Miller reports on that left-wing group under close watch by the FBI for decades. Plus, a real surprise for crime fighters.
This is Gabe Pressman. Bid rigging in the collection of trash at federal buildings, and it happened right under the nose of the authorities. I'll have that story tonight.
And questions about railroad safety. The LIRR gets a report card, and inspectors say it is nothing to brag about. Those stories and much more when Michelle and I see you at 6.
Wouldn't it be great if you could hear what people are really thinking?
That's a good question, and one I intend to examine closely. When Joey Buttafuoco is president.
Hear what people really think. News Talk Radio, 77 WABC. Wouldn't it be great if you could hear what people are really thinking?
Hi, honey. What do you think? It's a new me.
It's, beautiful.
I didn't know Dr. Seuss did hair.
Hear what people really think. News Talk Radio, 77 WABC.
Right. Now, those are some fine tomatoes. Blue ribbon.
Just the kind Progresso uses to give their new tomato soups a homemade taste.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Can't you see this one in our new tomato basil soup? Because only Progresso knows how basil will bring out the best of your tomato.
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
Can you see it being pureed?
Not my tomato.
A little attached.
Progresso's new tomato soups. For homemade taste, take home the Progresso.
No, Chopper 4 has not flown to Cleveland. These are pictures from right over Newark. A little snow in our area. Isn't that nice? Well, civil rights leaders met with the CEO of Texaco in White Plains today. This followed charges that top oil company executives used racial slurs. The Reverend Jesse Jackson traveled to Westchester to meet with CEO Peter Bajur. Jackson charged Texaco with a pattern of racial and sexual discrimination. And after the meeting, the two men commented.
In fact, use our discipline dollars, engage in a combination of picketing and boycotting and withdrawal of stocks until the suit filed by the workers is settled.
Discrimination will be extinguished only if we tackle it together.
Texaco stock has dropped 4.25 points since the allegations against the executives became public.
International pressure is forcing open the doors of secretive Swiss bank vaults. An initial search of Swiss banks has located assets belonging to 5 Jewish depositors who became victims of the Nazi Holocaust. Here in New York, the vice president of the World Jewish Congress described the small number of accounts uncovered as, quote, pathetic.
It's that time of year for some tree glee. Pretty soon, the traditional Christmas tree will grace Rockefeller Center. From cutting it down, wrapping it up, and carting it here, it is a monumental and memorable project. Mike Hegedus reports.
When Guy Torsolari and his brother Mark go out to cut down their Christmas tree every year, they draw quite a crowd. A couple of hundred people and news media from all over. Does this always happen?
Usually, we only cut one down a year.
Of course, the one they cut down is the one headed for Rockefeller Center. It's been their job for 15 years. The tree, picked out a few months ago and worked on for a week, is in Ann Dilger's Armonk backyard. She and her family got almost as much attention as the 90-foot Norway spruce. In fact, almost anyone and everyone that had a connection to the tree got a little piece of notoriety. Rusty McAllister used to climb it.
Going to be fun, you know, to see the tree from your own neighborhood, right down, almost in your backyard, you know, right down in Rockefeller Center.
And for the Dilger family, there was more than a touch of nostalgia in the air.
If my dad had been alive today, this would have been his birthday, so he would have loved this.
The Torsolari crew made the whole thing look pretty simple. Suspended from a crane, The trunk was clean cut, and the 9-ton tree lifted and floated over the neighborhood. The man at the controls, Tommy Kaminsky. Suppose dropping it ever crossed his mind?
I guess it would cross my mind, and it would be a bad time to drop a tree in front of all these TV cameras.
He didn't, and it set right down on the special trailer, leaving only one question, a problem we all share. How do they keep the darn thing straight in the Christmas tree stand?
A lot of magazines?
That's what I do. In Armonk, Mike Hegedus, News Channel 4.
The crews worked on the tree for a few more hours before they cut it down. The tree's going to make its journey to Rockefeller Center overnight.
Well, an explosion in Australia and a soccer riot in Rio. We'll have those stories and pictures next on Live at 5.
Fergie has a new book coming out, but we have word of another heavyweight offer that's going to pad her bank account.
And wait till you see what some mechanical mind thought of to help a canine accident victim when we come back.
I think people like something left to the imagination.
On the next Access Hollywood, what you don't see in the Victoria's Secret catalog.
They don't give you everything.
And Rhea Perlman's smooth move on the next Access Hollywood.
Tonight at 7:30, only on NBC4.
So, I'm on the Belt Parkway at 7:30 doing a crisp 8 miles an hour. Even the pigeons aren't moving. But I get off at Coney Island Avenue. I cut through the Portly Man's parking lot and drive down the alley behind Futon Madness. I go all the way to 60th Street, which everybody thinks is closed, but they're just repaving it. Hop on the Fort Hamilton Parkway, and bingo! I save a whole 7 minutes.
A little passionate about his commute, isn't he?
Drives an Accord.
Wow.
What's big at McDonald's?
At my McDonald's, we're big on big. We're talking big value. With our classic or deluxe extra value meal, you get big fries and a big drink for a small price. That's big meals, small price. Big meals, small price. Hey, value is a big deal at McDonald's. McDonald's is big on lots of things, but most of all, we're big on you.
Have you had your break today?
The promise of tomorrow. To put down roots. To be there for your kids. To watch your family grow. Owning a home means something different to everyone, but the dream always starts the same. For a free guide that can help you on the path to homeownership, call the Fannie Mae Foundation. We're showing America a new way home.
You only live once, or do you? Some think being frozen after you die gives you a second chance.
It's not given up without a fight.
Could cryogenics change your fate forever?
This is a life-saving technique.
Dying to live again. Tonight on News Channel 4 and 11.
Around the world in video now, Australia shook today. Here's why. The continent's biggest munitions plant was rocked by a massive explosion today. Witnesses said it looked like an atomic bomb had hit it, creating a huge mushroom cloud. The actual cause isn't known. One person was killed. And just north of Mexico City, that Pemex oil refinery is still burning and visible more than 50 miles away. One firefighter was killed in the blast. A second is holding on to dear life. This is the same site where a series of gas explosions killed over 500 people 12 years ago. When Rio's beloved soccer team lost yet another game, fans stormed out of the stands and took matters into their own hands, stomping and beating the opposing team's goalie. Police tried stopping the madness, but they were far outnumbered. The goalie suffered a concussion and eventually left the stadium with a police escort.
Topping our news today in the USA, the Army sex scandal has widened. 3 non-commissioned officers, this time at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, have been charged with sexual misconduct. The Army has already filed charges against 5 Army supervisors at a training base in Aberdeen, Maryland. The charges include rape and involve a dozen young women. 20 soldiers have also been suspended at Aberdeen. In the latest case at Fort Wood, the Army says rape was not involved. However, the misconduct charges are serious enough that a court-martial proceeding is already underway. 5 family members all lost their lives in an early morning fire in Alabama. 2 young children were among the dead. The source of the fire is still unknown, but amazingly, window bars used to keep burglars out may have kept the entire family trapped inside. And another fire, this one on Chicago's north side, shut down the Windy City's elevated transit system for most of the afternoon. The fire broke out in a tenement building near the tracks. 3 firefighters were injured fighting the blaze.
A brain operation tops our news from around the region. Carol Marcella of Schenectady had a brain tumor. Her HMO assigned a doctor with limited experience, so the woman borrowed $38,000 to pay for the doctor of her choice. And now she's asking the state to force her HMO to reimburse her. And in New Jersey, environmental advocates are asking the state to stop using weed-killing chemicals along the Garden State Parkway. They say the chemicals threaten groundwater. They want the state to use weed whackers and lawnmowers instead.
Now, we knew everyone else was watching Sarah Ferguson's weight. We just didn't know she was.
Well, the debt-ridden Duchess of York is about to draw a hefty paycheck. Fergie, who is on book tour in Chicago today, has just signed on to become the spokeswoman for Weight Watchers International. In her autobiography, Fergie blames her weight problems on her troubled marriage to Prince Andrew. She'll be all smiles now, though, with no one to blame when she cashes her annual paycheck from Weight Watchers, a hefty $1 million.
Well, now, here's someone who doesn't complain. Meet our speedy little friend Love, who's a terror on wheels. Love is a mixed-breed German Shepherd who lost his hind legs in a car accident. His owner came up with a specially designed wheelchair that enables Love to leave all the other dogs in the dust. It's a new lease on life for a dog named Love. The blessed little canine is what is it? It's, I guess, the best canine in all of Japan. All right. We just went through that smoothly. We have much more ahead, including people who have survived heart attacks and cancer. What can they teach others about the fighting spirit?
Also in medical news, a vaccine that shows promise for future victims of breast cancer. Testing on humans has begun.
And what kind of a gal would try to help other women by hitting on their boyfriends? We'll have the answer in just a few.
I see your house doesn't have the Sloman Shield. Aren't you scared? Getting scared?
What's the Sloman Shield?
An advanced home security system installed free. Guaranteed. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Burglars pass by the Sloman Shield?
Wouldn't you? Knowing your family's protected by the Sloman Shield?
I'm not scared anymore.
What's the number? 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Installed free. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. The Sloman Shield.
Shield your home. The Sloman Shield.
Lincoln Continental, a V8 luxury sedan that has all the right stuff. Lincoln Mark 8, a 280 horsepower luxury coupe that takes no prisoners. And Lincoln Town Car, a luxury legend that is recognized as an American classic. Every one of these Lincolns can now be reached at the following number. Exclusively at your Lincoln dealer.
On the next Extra, Celebrity Perks.
Whatever it takes to make them happy, that's what it's all about.
Extra reveals how far stars go to get their way. Then, government bureaucrats falsely accuse these new parents of starving their infant.
They just came and took him away.
Now, in an exclusive interview, find out how they battled to get their baby back. Plus, a video bonanza of the world's best bodies. We started out covering the world of entertainment. Now, we cover the world on Extra.
Tonight at 7, only on NBC4.
Mind-blowing excitement. Delirious romance. Laughs galore. But it's not coming to a theater near you. It's Sprint Internet Passport Blockbuster Edition, the simple way to get connected to all the excitement of the Internet. Get it free with rental or purchase now at a Blockbuster near you. Popcorn not included.
Get this. She wants to change her name from Heather to Feather. She's very picky about her food. Fried Bill thinks he's losing his little girl and his Kentucky Fried Chicken. So last night he brings home a bucket. Hello. Original recipe, extra tasty crispy, and now tender roast. They'll mix it any way you want. Bill's got his fried pieces, Heather's got her roasted pieces, and I've just got a piece.
It's your chicken choices any way you like it at KFC. Now mix and match an 8-piece meal with your choice of tender roast and fried chicken, 2 large sides, and 4 biscuits, just $11.99.
Some people are so jealous, they're setting unusual traps to tempt a spouse or lover to cheat. Dateline NBC's Chris Hansen is here with a preview of a report he's preparing for tonight. Chris?
Well, Sue, thank you very much. You know, it's almost impossible to measure how much cheating is going on out there. Various studies show that up to 30% of women and up to 50% of men will stray at some point in their marriages. And uncovering infidelity has become a big business, not just hiring a private investigator. We're talking about actually using a decoy. And Dateline's hidden cameras are rolling as Teresa waits at the bar. Time ticks by slowly. She knows the target comes here every Friday night. After about an hour and a half, he arrives with a male friend. A conversation sparks almost immediately. Teresa tells him she's waiting for a girlfriend.
Do you have any rhythm at all? Can you move on the dance floor?
I love to dance.
Step out later. Can you move or?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you got the.
I've never.
Take that thing, girl.
Teresa goes right to work.
So why aren't you married?
I've been close, you know, a few times. I've met girls that feel like real close, but always at the last minute, I just can't see it. And then I don't find a lot of girls either. The girl's got to be a solid girl. Somebody that can that loyal. If I'm going to be loyal to her, she'll be there. Absolutely.
In reality, this man is a father of 3 who's been married for 8 years. After 20 minutes of chatting, he asks for Teresa's phone number.
Yeah, we'll hook up later.
And when she's apprehensive, he enthusiastically encourages her.
Freak it out, girl. Freak it out.
Finally, she gives him a fake number.
What's the schedule? I mean, weekend's good. I'll give you a shout. You can show me some rhythm.
The man makes it very clear he'd like to see Teresa again. And it's all captured on audio tape for his wife to hear. It's the kind of thing that gives men a bad name. Gotcha. Teresa works for a private detective here in New York City. At least a couple times a month, she's hired to test somebody's husband or boyfriend. It's the ultimate in detecting a cheating heart, or could it be entrapment? You decide. That's Dateline NBC right here at 10 o'clock tonight on NBC4.
Oh, I can hear the howls of entrapment coming from.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially if you're on the other end of Teresa's gaze. I think at least that would be your defense. But it's interesting. More times than not, 9.5 times out of 10, she catches them.
Chris, how much does it cost to hire a decoy?
The average job, the job that you saw right there, will be about $750, they tell you.
$750. And how does Teresa get into this business?
Teresa got into this business because she was victimized, she says, by a cheating boyfriend. She caught him, and she decided she was going to do her best not to let this happen to any other woman. And so she got hooked up with this private investigator, and she was off to the races.
A woman scorned.
That's right.
Look at me, huh? I don't know that I would go through the expense. I just say, hey.
You're out of here.
All right, we'll see you. Thank you, Chris.
Well, where did you pack those long johns? Al's 5-day forecast is coming up.
We're going to jump the gun on tonight's weekly visit with Paul and Jamie Buckman. Jane Wells takes us onto the set of Mad About You, where a new arrival is on the way.
And mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the most talented singer, actress, movie director of them all? Barbara Streisand tells us about her new Hollywood project.
These aliens are killing us. We need some help.
Right away, Your Airness. McDonald! Behold.
Now only at McDonald's. Collect these fun Looney Tunes stuffed characters from the new movie Space Jam. Just $2.99 each with the purchase of a new deluxe or any other large sandwich.
Way to go, Dandy.
How about we go out and kick some alien butt?
Space Jam at McDonald's. Come hungry. Leave stuffed.
What's the nurse's diagnosis?
Definitely needs medical attention.
May I prescribe the 97 Skylark?
I've been looking at new cars, and everything I want is extra.
Baby, I'm yours. Skylark has dual airbags, traction control, roadside assistance, even anti-lock brakes on standard. The luxury you deserve, and with $750 cash to you, a price you can afford. $15,745. See your Tri-State Buick dealers now.
Coming up on News Channel 4 at 6.
A whole new set of rules coming our way. Coming up at 6 on News Channel 4, a plan to get tougher on people who rely on the system, including what they can and cannot do with their welfare checks. Plus, it's more tax dollars going to people who allegedly scam the system right under the system's nose. And a group of school children asks Asa.
You've written a song, a composer is ready to play it, but there's no piano. I'll have that story.
Those stories when Chuck and I join you at 6.
Severe weather any time of the year can cause big problems, including electric power outages. When a storm threatens Long Island, Wilco repair crews are ready to restore service as fast as possible. A computer tracking system lets us get to a problem quickly. And if extra manpower is needed, employees from around the company are trained to assist during storms. That helped make Wilco's service restoration time the best in New York State last year. Call us for service anytime, day or night. The Wilco team will be on the job to restore your service.
Can you put a price on a desert sunset? Can you put a price on a moment of discovery? This is America. Of course you can. This fall, the Amtrak Explore America Fair starts at just $158 round trip with up to 3 stopovers, all aboard the comfort of spacious new Amtrak trains. It's an experience that's priceless for a price that's reasonable. Come explore America on today's Amtrak. Call your travel agent or call Amtrak at 1-800-USA-RAIL.
A milestone tonight for Must-See TV. Mad About You is celebrating its 100th episode. Although the show looks like it's happening here in New York, it's actually shot at a studio in Culver City, California. So that's where we sent Jane Wells.
They've entertained us for better and for worse.
Oh, entertain them. Why didn't you tell me I had stupid things in my head?
I thought it was on purpose.
But as Mad About You's Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt head into their 100th episode,
And that's a cut.
they move from mad to deranged with impending parenthood.
Which is what's fun about this year, is that there is something new that's very true and organic and brings an entire new set of problems. Although 1 hour ago I saw my parents naked in this bed, still, my sexual appetite has not diminished.
Reiser and Hunt play parents-to-be Paul and Jamie Buckman. And while Reiser knows from personal experience what to expect when you're expecting, Hunt has to fake it.
A big group of my friends last year all got pregnant at the same time, and as their friends, I sort of collected their stories and their, what they went through.
But Reiser has been in the delivery room before for the birth of his son. So how will Paul Buckman be different witnessing childbirth than Paul Reiser was?
Paul Buckman will have writers and punch-ups, so it'll be probably more humorous. And again, bigger ratings. In my actual son's birth, we did a 12-3, which was okay. But we're hoping for a little bit better.
So how long does a show like this keep going? I mean, what do the Buckmans do after they have a baby?
Shower up, I imagine.
As long as it's fun and as long as we, feel like we are doing good work. So I think when we both look at each other and feel like it's time, we'll bail out.
In other words, Mad About You will be around as long as they are mad about the show. And one last thing, any names for baby Buckman?
Ezekiel in the Nebuchadnezzar was Helen's pitch.
If it's a girl.
If it's a girl, Edwin.
Well, whatever they call the baby, millions will tune in for the birth. In Culver City, Jane Wells, News Channel 4.
Tonight's episode also showcases TV legends Carol Burnett and Carol O'Connor, and you can see the 100th episode of Mad About You tonight at 8, right here on Channel 4.
It's her first film in years. Barbra Streisand is back in the limelight with The Mirror Has Two Faces.
I thought you were going to wear makeup today.
I am wearing makeup.
Well?
Oh, my God.
Streisand directs and co-stars as Rose in the film about two people and how they react to physical attraction.
Hi, Alex.
I can't believe it's you.
When Rose becomes glamorous, you notice what happens to the relationships. All of a sudden, the sister is, made to feel unnerved. Her best friend becomes cold and feels left out. You see what happens with the effects of beauty.
Well, tonight at 11, Jeffrey Lyons gives us one of the first reviews of The Mirror Has Two Faces. Don't miss it tonight at 11 on News Channel 4. Now, Al's back with a return visit. Tidbit and bit of weather.
Yes, in reverse order.
All right.
We'll start with the weather. As we first of all take a look at NextRad 4 with through Doppler 4000's odds, you can see scattered showers around. Although a lot of this is not reaching the ground, some of it falling in the form of snow, as you saw earlier, through the eyes of Chopper 4. Now, as we take a look at our forecast for you for tonight, fair skies, low 20s north and west, mid 20s here in town, upper 20s along the coast. And then for tomorrow morning, kids heading out to school, upper 20s, low 30s with a decent amount of sunshine. As the day progresses, though, look for thickening clouds and a high of 41. Light snow on Thursday, a high of 36. Friday, a temperature of 39 with sunshine. Saturday, sunny, 46. Sunday, sunshine warming up to 51. All right, let's answer the tidbit. We want to know, who is Rodin's The Thinker supposed to represent? According to our Encyclopedia of Art, it's a combination of one character from the Bible and another from Greek mythology.
I have no idea.
I'll pass.
I get this all by myself?
Yes.
Okay. I'll go with a Samson from the Bible and Zeus from mythology.
Okie dokie. Well, a good shot. It was Adam from the book of Genesis and Prometheus, the Titan who got in trouble for giving fire to human beings. Of course, Prometheus right there at the ice skating rink at 30 Rockefeller Plaza, but nobody gets it today. Okay.
All right, thank you, Al. Rushed. News for Your Health is next. We have word of an experimental vaccine for breast cancer.
Plus, ordinary people who beat extraordinary odds. How they survived medical emergencies from heart attacks to cancer.
Shh. You'll wake somebody.
Taxi! You take it, I insist. No, you take it.
You may be wondering just what the dickens is going on around here. It's a Christmas Carol, the eye-opening musical spectacular that's having some very special effects on people. American Express presents A Christmas Carol, the musical spectacular that touches you, starring Tony Randall and Ben Vereen at the theater at Madison Square Garden.
We've all got things to do, right? Like pick up the kids, go grocery shopping, move some furniture. Of course, that's after you haul that load of sand for the new sandbox. Now do it all in a Jimmy from GMC. With spacious cargo room, a V6 standard, and plenty of comfort for the long haul. And now with a $299 a month lease with $14.99 down, getting into a Jimmy is even easier. Jimmy from GMC. When you've got to do what you've got to do. See your tri-state GMC dealer today.
Coming up at 6, Brooklyn bombshell. Police find a deadly arsenal and children in danger at a Crown Heights home. Then, Long Island Railroad safety under fire.
How safe are Long Island Railroad crossings? I'm Entry Perez with some new answers.
Coming up at 6.
When I saw you in the office yesterday, I was concerned that you were having a problem with the retina due to your diabetes. Diabetes is one of the leading causes of legal blindness in our country. Here at the Hip Center, we have the latest and most up-to-date equipment available. It's a computerized camera, so I get the results right away. Testing revealed advancement of a serious eye condition. What I think we need to do is laser treatment. Laser treatment can help preserve vision.
This is a whole lot nicer than doing one thing today, another thing next week. Do it all at once and get it done.
Recently, Barbara O'Neill faced a financial problem that could have cost her everything she worked so hard for. She called 1-800-CHAMPION for our Clean Slate program. Leonard described how Clean Slate could replace her unmanageable bills with a payment she could easily afford. Barbara said she slept well that night. She stopped by to say thanks to some good friends who helped her have that second chance she never thought she'd qualify for.
Does your bank have as many ways to help you? When your bank says no, Champion says yes.
News for Your Health now, an exciting breakthrough in breast cancer research as scientists begin experimenting with a new vaccine. Breast cancer patient Mary Harnsberger has become the first person to be injected with a new vaccine. The injection is designed to replace chemotherapy and radiation by strengthening the body's immune system.
Working on a system that will hopefully not only allow us to kill tumor cells, but provide an enhanced level of immunity so that the patient, if they ever were to have a recurrence, would have an immune response against the recurrence.
Harnsberger took the first of 6 injections yesterday and is hoping for success. Doctors at the Child's Research Center hope to add at least 30 more women to the clinical study.
And a new study on breast cancer just released this afternoon finds heavy smokers who reach menopause are 4 times as likely to get breast cancer as non-smokers. The study says a flawed enzyme present in millions of Americans may be to blame for the increased risk. The study in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that women who start smoking in their teen years are especially at risk for breast cancer later in life.
Good news for shrimp lovers who worry about their cholesterol. Go ahead and eat. Scientists at Rockefeller University tested shrimp for all kinds of cholesterol and found they're high in good cholesterol and low in the dangerous ones. The findings are reported in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition.
And increasingly, people who face life-threatening diseases are battling back and winning. Dr. Jocelyn Apollon is here with more on beating the odds.
Yes, do you believe in miracles?
Of course.
Well, some people are saying that's exactly what's happening. We're hearing more and more about people who are beating the odds, surviving cancer, fighting heart disease, and surviving even when they're told medically there's nothing else that can be done.
12 years ago, Mae Mickley was told she had advanced ovarian cancer, which causes one of the highest death rates in women. In fact, it's estimated that 1 in every 70 American women is destined to die from this disease. Mae Mickley didn't.
I had a very good doctor who explained that it wasn't a death sentence.
Mae underwent chemotherapy treatments and surgery, and she beat the odds.
In my 20 years of practice, I've seen so often patients survive and return. Not only do they survive, their quality of life is normal.
But Mae's battle had just begun. With ovarian cancer in remission, she then developed breast cancer. And while being treated for breast cancer, she was found to have leukemia, cancer of the blood.
It's not uncommon for a person to have more than one type of cancer and beat all of them. In fact, a patient who is a cancer survivor has a slightly higher risk of developing a different type of cancer because of their genetic predisposition.
Advanced medical treatment not only allows people to survive cancer, a number of them are even cured. But we doctors don't dismiss the power of the will to live.
I'm a survivor, and I wasn't tossing in the sponge.
Mae was aware and able to make decisions about her cancer treatment. But what happens if a patient is in a coma and doctors don't expect them to survive through the night? In February 1994, Robert Scholar had a massive heart attack, in a coma for 4 months, and placed in a hospice program to die.
They had every reason, I suppose, to believe that I was on my way out. The only thing was I wasn't, and I didn't.
Robert not only survived a heart attack and coma, he also survived the funeral that his family planned for him.
It must be maybe that I had a very strong will to survive.
Now, Mae and Robert survived when all the odds seemed to be against them, and this is not uncommon. We're finding that many people with devastating terminal illnesses are surviving longer, and in some cases even cured. But even when the best doctors and advanced medical treatments, their best medicine is their will to survive. They're wonderful people, and they're doing very well at this point.
Very happy. Thank you, Dr. Apollon. That is Live at 5 for this evening, and we thank you for watching.
Tune in tomorrow after Sally to find out what your doctor needs to know when you enter the emergency room. Now here are Chuck and Michelle with News Channel 4 at 6.
Thanks, Dean and Sue. And straight ahead, a hidden arsenal, secret tunnels, and more than 30 arrests. Who are the suspects and what do they want?
Also dangerous railroad crossings and what's being done about them.
Plus, a high school class asked ASA to ask you for help.
You're watching NBC4, the Tri-State News Channel. And now, Chuck Scarborough, Michelle Marsh, Janice Huff, and Len Berman. This is News Channel 4 at 6.